We've also, through the merger, we've started to, and because of the nature of the new school, we're going to be working, for those of you who don't know, from years 7 to 9, each year level working in a separate building with a team of teachers teaching specifically to that year level cohort. We felt that within doing that, we needed to have a look at the curriculum that we currently deliver to our students. Through research and reading, some of you will probably know the work of Robert Mazzano, and we're looking at Robert Mazzano's work to guide some of our thinking in how we're going to approach teaching in this new environment. One of the things that Robert Mazzano has looked at through research suggests that we all teach in a system which has an incredibly crowded curriculum. What he's suggesting is that we are trying to teach too much without actually going into the deeper learning and gaining the deeper understanding within specific subject areas. So as a process of our restructuring, there's been a huge amount of work within disciplines at what we've called unpacking the vels, recognising through each discipline what we see as essential learning that needs to take place in order to prepare our students for higher levels of school. So we are using Robert Mazzano. This book we've been using quite a lot, and I can highly recommend this book. Is really sound reading, and it does tie in very, very closely to a lot of work that John Munro is doing as well. So in the process of unpacking the curriculum, what we're saying is that we are going to deliver a curriculum which we guarantee by the end of year 7, students will know this. Students will be taught this, students will know this by the end of year 8 and by the end of year 9 and by the end of year 10. Sequentially developed in order for students to achieve success in the latter years of secondary school. He also looks, in the Mazzano model, he also looks at student level factors. I'm just going to refer to some notes here. Things like student level factors he sees take up the lion's share of what is effective in what affects student outcomes. He's saying that the home environment plays an incredibly important role. I'm sure many people in here will be familiar with the work of Ruby Payne, and he recognises that the home environment plays an important part in students' outcomes. He's also suggesting that there are learning intelligences and background knowledge of what the kids already come with to your classroom obviously affects how they would learn and their results, and also he talks about motivation as being a key factor in success in the classroom. He also suggests that although there are a large deal of variance within this, he's also suggesting that we can impact on the negative. And I think that's where the work of John Munro comes in to say that if we are effective in our pedagogical approaches, we can improve student outcome regardless of if there's poor home environments, poor background knowledge that they enter the classroom with, or lack of motivation. So they are how I think, using the Mazzano model, we tie back into what John Munro has been saying to us, and also the work of Raymond Lewis. I might go back there actually. What we're also talking about here, and I think the key is here, which I've just skipped over, is the instructional strategies that he uses. Now, the instructional strategies that are in John Munro's writing are very, very similar to the work, of Robert Mazzano's, are very, very similar to the instructional strategies that John Munro uses as well. So we're tying those two models together in order to work out what we think is the best fit. I think John was saying something earlier with regards to how we're not taking the recipe of John Munro and coming up with the right minestrone soup in order to teach with. We're actually trying to look at other models that are out there and come up with what we think is the best fits for our students in Broadmeadows at Hume Central Secondary College.